So if you would not be prefer to be on the recording, then you can always turn off your video, and the recording will only be on the first part of the webinar. So everything that will be discussed in the smaller breakout rooms will be between the participants themselves. And hereby I officially open the webinar and say a few words about myself. My name is Laura Maria Tiidla, Estonian by nationality, and I'm working in an organization called International Sport and Culture Association, shortly for ISCA, that brought together this project with our very good partners from Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland, and we're helping with the administrative side of the project. ISCA is an international umbrella organization for the grassroots sports, education sector, everyone working with youth and healthy lifestyle promotion. And we have gathered a lot of resources on the topic of integration and inclusion of refugees. And these can all be found on the website that you see on the screen, irts.isca.org. And all of these resources and links and presentation will be shared with you afterwards as well. And if I share a little bit more about the housekeeping, we have 2 languages available, Polish and English. Meeting will be recorded and the presentation will be sent to you. If you're not speaking at the moment, please mute yourself so we would have better audio quality. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to type them in the question box, either in English or Polish, because we will have help with the translations there, or you can also alternatively raise your hand. So you do have a chance to ask the speakers questions, and we really encourage and are interested in your opinion and how is your local situation as well. So let's try to make it an interactive one. And for the agenda, we will be here with you for the next 90 minutes. And we will start with a presentation very shortly about the We Play Together, how it came to be and what are the elements of the project. We have developed a practical guide in the framework of the project, and Ronald from Latvia will share a little bit more about it. And then the focus of today's webinar will be hearing about the activities and learnings from Estonia and Poland. So Priit and Piotr will present their activities in their respective countries. And then we have an opportunity to go into breakout rooms. One will be in English with Priit and the other one in Polish with Piotr. And you have opportunity to have more of a discussion and more questions to be asked from them. So this will be the agenda for today. And I wanted to show you also the participants to the webinar. And last I checked, it was around 145 people from 18 countries, and a wide sectorial representation from the sports sector, youth organization, educational institutions, municipalities, ministries of sport, etc. So I hope we can share our experience and knowledge from different sectors as well and build the capacity of everyone involved here. And with that, I would like to give the floor to ISCA from Lithuania, from Youth Can organization, who will share a little bit more about what the project is about and some of the key details. The floor is yours, ISCA.
So hello, everyone. My name is ISCA, and I'm the coordinator of Youth Camp program in Lithuania. So I'm very excited to introduce you to our amazing 2 years Erasmus plus Youth Cooperation Partnership project, which is focusing on supporting the inclusion of displaced Ukrainian youth within local communities through sport in the Baltic and Polish region. And so let's have a brief overview of the project activities, and later you will hear the concrete experiences of our partner organizations. Laura, can you have another slide, please? So as part of international learning, our staff had an opportunity to go for the study visits. So all coaches, trainers, and teachers could meet, make contacts, share their experience, good practices, and improve their qualifications in terms of working with Ukrainian youth. The project also provided us with opportunities to expand our national grassroots sport programs in Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and Poland. So the strength of this project was that we were quite flexible to choose what kind of activities and how to reach Ukrainian youth in every country. What else? I would say that, you know, all the learnings were compiled into a practical guide for the sports sector. So you will hear it about later on from my colleague Ronald. And it is also very important to mention that youth was and still is involved in the project from the early beginning. And they also met few representatives from each country. They met, they discussed, they shared their ideas and designed their own activities. That's going to be as a part of the sport festival in July. And it's really exciting news for us to organize a sport festival in Lithuania in a very small village, Pumpene, where we are planning to gather up to 120 young people for 2 days international event, which will combine educational and sport activities, intercultural learning, and very good music. So the other magic of this event is that young people from the village, they will also get involved with this festival, and we are providing opportunities to be volunteers there and also to gain this international experience. So to wrap up, these are the main elements of the project. And as far as I know, Laura will share some videos from what we have done before.
Thank you, Achu. And this is one of the videos from our study visits in Kaunas, so you can have a little bit more idea of what we have been up to.
I think everybody felt.
Just 1 second.
A bit anxious.
Working. 5 seconds.
Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We play.
Here go the Zagiro Father.
We're going to walk about 4.5 kilometers, if it's okay for you. So it will be. He was one of the first writers worldwide who.
Just delivering what we have to deliver in Poland, so just creating more content for the teachers
So I hope this little video gave a bit more visual representation of what we have been doing as part of the project, and some more about the educational materials that Isa mentioned will be shared by Ronald from Latvian Sport Federation Council. So Ronald, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Hello, everyone. My name is Ronald, and I'm a project specialist from the Latvian Sports Federations Council. And within this project, we have recently developed a practical guide, which is based on all of our study visits and all the knowledge and that we have gained from our partners from the Poland and Baltic countries, from coaches, and also especially from the youth itself. And the practical guide, the purpose of this practical guide is to describe the role of sport in the integration of youth refugees into society, with a focus on the benefits and challenges of this approach. And also the practical guide includes practical examples of coaches and teachers from the Baltic countries and from Poland on how to use sport as a tool on facilitating the integration of youth refugees, especially the Ukrainian youth refugees, into their new host communities. So this means that the practical guide also explains, gives like practical examples of specific activities that can be easily implemented in your daily work with youth. Also the guidelines on how to do these activities. And of course, there's also the links to all of our partner organizations' websites and contacts as well, where you can reach all of us to discuss further more about what type of activities we are doing to integrate these youth refugees into the society. So these tools can be used for disadvantaged children and youth because also they have the common backgrounds and they may have experienced trauma, mental health issues, social isolation, or have limited access to resources and services. So this practical guide will help you to organize different types of activities to overcome these challenges and successfully integrate these children into society as well. And also the guide includes direct quotes from staff members, trainers and teachers, and also from Youth Advisory Board, who also shared their personal experience in this field. And we are happy to announce that this guide is at the moment available on the project website, which you can see at the screen. At the moment, it's only in English, but in the next 2 weeks, we will have also the practical guide translated in Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian, Polish, and also Ukrainian. So I hope that Laura will probably share this information when we have all the translated guides. And I think, yeah, at the moment, that's all in a short summary about the practical guide.
Thank you, Ronald. Yes, and I will be surely sharing the information with the participants about the guides and the translations when they are available. And if you have questions to ISCA or Ronald or the activities that have been done and will be done throughout the project in Latvia and Lithuania, then you have a chance to ask them in the breakout room that is following after the presentations. And we're also planning one more webinar when they will go a little bit more into detail of their activities. So this information will also be shared with you later on. And that concludes the first part. And I will now continue by giving the floor to Priit Joe from SPIN in Estonia, who will be walking us through about the project activities carried out by SPIN. So Priit, the floor is yours. You can continue sharing the screen as well.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, hello everybody. My name is Priit. I'm a CEO of non-governmental organization called SPIN from Estonia. And I'm really glad that I can share our great journey with you guys. And like Laura told, I have 15 minutes approximately to share our experience about the SPIN program and more specifically what we have done concerning this We Play Together project. So I can share the screen. And we can start. And as you can all see, SPIN is sports-based intervention program for youth who are at risk. So SPIN was introduced to Estonia in 2013 when the Ministry of Interior was looking for community prevention program that was a little bit outside the box compared to the ones used so far. And the first groups of SPIN started in 2015. So our goal is to use sport as a tool to develop social and self-management skills among youngsters who are at risk. And we can say that if these skills are increasing, the risk behavior among youngsters is reducing, And the other positive effect is that if they stay in the SPIN program for a longer period of time, they can stay in the education system a bit longer as well. So in order to achieve the goal, what specifically are we doing every day? So we have weekly training sessions, 3 times per week. One training session will last 1.5 hours, and 2/3 of the activity is sports-based activities, mainly football or football exercises. And these activities are carried out by our football coach, and 1/3 of the activities are like especially designed sessions, so-called life skills sessions, to develop youngsters' social and self-management skills. And these activities are carried out by our life skill coach. So that means in every session there's 2 adults, 2 coaches who are responsible for creating a trustworthy and safe environment for the kids. We like to call ourselves a community program, and I believe a network around the youth is quite strong, because we're working closely together with the schools, with the police, and with the local government members. I told you before that we are a prevention program, so that means we are working with a specific target group, and we are inviting youth under the following criteria. So the first criteria is, and that's the most common one, if they have any kind of trouble in school. So that means a school social worker has a great deal of autonomy to say that, okay, this youth needs an extra additional support that we can provide. The second criteria is he or she has few or no opportunities to do extracurricular activities. A third one is that he or she lives at risk conditions. And the final one, if he or she has some kind of contact with the police. So these are the 4 main criteria that we're dealing with. And although, despite of these criteria, we are using or we are applying so-called 20-80% rule. So that means 80% of the youngsters are from the target group, and 20% of the youngsters are the ones who don't need any additional support. And I believe it's really interesting to hear what actually our youth and the coaches will think about the SPIN program. So I will do a small pause in my presentation, and I will show you a video which was taken in 2016, but still the content is quite relevant. In the video, you will hear a lot of Russian language, because back then in 2015 and 16, when we opened the new groups, we opened the groups in the most vulnerable areas. But the subtitles are in English, so it's really easy to follow. So I will stop sharing, and I will share once again, and I will show you the video, hopefully. The sound and the picture is there, so we can hear.
Ну, спин — это возможность познакомиться с другими игроками, например, на соревнованиях. Также потренировать языки, на эстонском особенно. И поиграть в футбол с друзьями, в команде.
Мне больше всего нравится то, что там активные ребята и много правил, которые мы учим. Правила, которые мы учим, они очень помогают. Содержание гнева, не выплескивать гнев на поле и в классе там с друзьями.
Ну, из первой тренировки мне понравилось, потому что хорошая атмосфера на тренировках. И treenimine teeb väga, et õpetavad palju niimoodi rohkem kui lihtsalt treenerid. Mõnikord nagu saab ka lihtsalt niisama küsida nõu ja saab nagu rääkida vabalt, nagu rääksid lihtsalt inimesega.
Treenerid on toredad ja aitavad abi valmida. Teised, kellega ma nagu tiimis olen, need on ka head abi valmida. Saame hästi läbi.
Я научилась играть в футбол, я стала активно заниматься спортом. И я единственная девочка в школе из нашего класса, кто умеет играть в футбол. Научился нормально пасы давать. Я раньше особо играл в пользу себя, не в пользу команды, теперь играю в пользу команды. И стал больше уделять внимания. Раньше я злился на эстонцев, теперь я отношусь к ним с добротой, с пониманием, если так можно выразиться.
Сотрудничать научился тут. Совместно, да, тоже играть. Команда меня уважает. Я всех уважаю с команды. Изменило в жизни то, что как бы не гулял так раньше, просто на улице нечего было делать, ерундой маялись. Спин начал ходить, у меня отношения с родителями изменились. У меня все хорошо стало.
Alguses oli mul probleeme keelebarjääriga, et vene sees mängib koos. Nüüdseks on see juba kadunud, et suudab juba rääkida niimoodi ilma sõnadeta.
Два разных человека, двух разных национальностей от эстонского до русского могут подружиться и играть в одной команде. Также здесь мы развиваем командные навыки и футбольные навыки.
Изменила, конечно, да, как общаться с людьми надо. Потому что иногда так общаешься с ними, так не по-хорошему. А тут научили, что вот надо хорошо. И если тебя кто-то нервирует, то надо сказать себе, перед тем, как просто что-то плохое сделать, лучше сказать себе стоп, выдохнуть и пойти дальше спокойно играть. Участие в этой программе оправдало мои надежды. Я постепенно начала видеть, как ситуация меняется, то есть меняются сами по себе. Если иногда приходят осенью, после того, как у нас перерыв, на голову выше, такие серьезные, вижу, как они взрослеют, вижу, как они меняются как личность. Поэтому для меня это равносильно тому, что ты учитель в школе. И так как это все связано еще с футболом, который я обожаю, то есть для меня это именно идеальное место, где можно проявить себя и помочь другим. Самая большая для них польза – это то, что они вообще здесь, что у них здесь есть друзья, у них между собой хорошие отношения, они здесь получают поддержку, они здесь учатся, развиваются, и они сами это чувствуют.
Ma arvan, et nad leiavad siit häid sõpru, uusi tuttavaid ja suhtlemist, õpivad suhtlema üksteisega eriolukordades. Tore koht see vaba aja veetmiseks.
Я могла посоветовать прийти сюда как мальчикам, так и девочкам, вне зависимости вообще, потому что, здесь можно развить вообще все, начиная от языков и заканчивая своими навыками в команде, в командной игре и вообще в игре. Тут можно много чему научиться, зависит от человека, хочет ли он вообще этому учиться.
So I will share my presentation once again, but as you could hear, like a really honest opinions about the youth or from the youth, what they think about the spin training sessions. But we can continue. So as you could hear, there were Russian-speaking youngsters and Estonian-speaking youngsters. Right now, we have 45% who are speaking Estonian as their mother tongue, and the 45% of the youngsters who are speaking Estonian, and 10% are the Ukrainian-speaking youngsters who are participating in our sessions. So altogether, weekly, we have 600 participants who are participating in our training sessions. We have practically in every regional city center or county center, at least one spin group. We have a lot of partners, and once again, to emphasize the importance of life skill sessions that we can deliver per season. So we can deliver more than 1,000 hours of life skill sessions to our youth. About the impact measurement, so from the very beginning, from 2015 when we started, we wanted to know that are these activities that we have planned for the youth have actually any kind of positive effect towards our youngsters. And happily we can say that SPIN program really works. As you can see, these numbers, the behavior in school and the academic achievement in school is getting better by 9% on average. But the biggest change is about the school attendance. Almost 25% of the participants are improving their school attendance. So that's why earlier I told that if they are staying in the SPIN program for a longer period of time, they are in the educational system a bit longer as well. So therefore, their future perspectives are a bit better. If you see those the main performance indicators of risk behavior, you can see that these skills are becoming better as well. So the self-control is increasing, the self-efficacy is getting better, and the overall pro-social attitudes are becoming better as well. That's like a small introduction about the SPIN program, and shifting the gear and now speaking about activities that we are doing concerning this project we played together. So the first bigger activities that we already have done, that we have organized 3 holiday camps for the youth. With half of the students have come from the SPIN groups, and half of the students are the Ukrainians. So for the adults or for the coaches, it has been quite challenging to plan and to execute this integration sports-based youth camp for our participants, but eventually the kids have really enjoyed the youth camp. For the coaches, it has been quite tiresome, but I really like one of the girls' feedback that she gave me, that though Ukrainians and Estonians and Russians will have the different language, but we as a youth, we share the same energy. So I think that's a really good summary how the youth will see about how the youth camp worked. So the next biggest activity is that together with the schools and the other partners, we are inviting Ukrainians to our weekly sessions. And as you can see from these pictures, last year in November, we opened a new group in the city center of Tallinn, and most of the youngsters are the Ukrainian refugees that used to live in the ferries and boats in the Estonian harbor. And like I told you before, overall, out of the 600 participants, approximately 70 students or kids are from Ukraine at the moment. The third one is that in order to make our methodology more accessible to our partners, we will be translating our practical guidelines from Estonian to English, to Russian, and to Ukrainian, especially our life skill manual, which is the core document of our program. the final activity is that again, together with our partners, we are inviting Ukrainian community into different projects that are managed by our partners. So for instance, the picture on the left-hand side, you can see a girls' skill festival that was just 2 weeks ago, and 89 girls from grade 2 to grade 6 enjoyed the football and the lovely atmosphere that we could provide for them. So this is pretty much it, like a small introduction about the SPIN and the activities concerning the project. So Laura, do we have time for overall questions, or the questions will be answered in the breakout rooms?
We will have time for a few questions. So if you have any questions directly to Preet right now, you can do it by typing in the chat, either in English or Polish, or using the raise your hand function. And you will be able to ask them this way as well out loud. So just give you a minute to prepare your questions. But I will kick it off myself, Preet, by asking you a little bit more of the kind of partnerships that you have established to reach out to the Ukrainian children and youth. Could you maybe elaborate on that a little bit more, on how did you were able to reach them?
Mm-hmm. I think one learning point from this project is that you have to establish like a strong partnership with the organization that already are working with the Ukrainian refugees. So for us, we established contacts with 2 schools in Estonia, in Tallinn, that are working directly with the Ukrainian refugees. So these kids are from grade 7 to grade 12, and Dragokool from grade 1 to grade 6. So personally for me, I found that it is much easier to do a cooperation with the partner organization who already have established a really strong and solid activities with the Ukrainian community. So that is definitely one of the learning points from this collaboration.
Thank you so much, Preet. And we also have a question in the chat that I will read from Rola. And they say that your project seems inspirational. As a youth worker in Estonia, this is great to see and know that it is available. And the question is about, how do you manage with multiple languages at once during your activities? And do you normally collaborate with youth centers? So 2 specific questions about the languages and collaboration with youth centers.
Mm-hmm. So the first question is, for instance, in Tallinn, we have bilingual groups. So half of the youth are Estonian speaking, and half of the youth are Russian speaking. So our coaches are speaking 2 languages as well. So for them, it is quite ordinary to convey the training in 2 languages. So for the Estonian context, it seems pretty ordinary thing, but maybe for the other countries it seems quite peculiar, how to do a training in 2 different languages. But our coaches have already used that method. But since we have 2 coaches, so in that case, one coach is either Estonian by nationality, and the other coach is, for instance, a Russian-speaking coach.
Thank you. And the collaboration with youth centers?
We have a context with youth centers as well, previously last year and the year before in Tallinn we had a quite good cooperation with Italian youth centers that once a month a representative from youth center visited our group, and he or she did something did some activities with the youth. So that's the specific activity with the youth center.
Yeah, thank you, Brit. And if we have listeners from any of the 4 countries or internationally, then you're also more than welcome to get in contact with with any of the country representatives also, if you are open for some collaboration or would like to see the trainings or practices a bit more thoroughly. So I will say thank you to Brit right now. You have a chance to discuss more in the breakouts rooms afterwards, but now I will hand it over to Piotr Sitkowski from V4Sport Fundacja, who will continue the presentation about activities in Poland. So off to you, Piotr.
Hi, hello. My name is Piotr Sitkowski, and I'm from V4Sport Foundation. We are based in Poland, in Wrocław. And hello to everybody, to Polish audience as well. And to you, one quick announcement is that in the breakout room after my presentation, we will have a session in Polish language. So it might be much easier to speak and ask questions over there. Okay, getting back to my presentation, I have a stopwatch over here and I'm aware of time, and I will do my best not to let you get bored during my presentation. Okay, who are we? We are dealing with promoting physical activity for over a decade now, and whenever we are defining problem we want to find the solution to, we are kind of moving along this framework you see here. So it's research advocacy, cross-sectoral cooperation, and innovative campaigns. And what we did last year regarding our main topic is we started to think, okay, how we can use physical activity as a solution to different problems in light of war, and we defined the problem. What is the problem? The problem is that we have many thousands of Ukrainian refugee kids that need to be adopted into Polish society. Then we moved into research, and research is not only research as it sounds, it's also white papers, reports, general wisdom that help us to define the way we want to tackle the problem. So the problem is not ready to use tools for the integration kids from Poland, Ukraine, okay. We ask ourselves how we can use active physical activity to solve that problem. And there are loads of reports and research on that. And we know that already physical activity plays a key role on decreasing anxiety and so on and so forth. And when we have kids who are open to others and communication, it's much easier for them to make friends, and that's what we want to achieve. And why am I speaking about kids? Because kids are in our primary focus for years already. And why kids? Because kids are the future. And what I mean by kids, I mean kids age 5 to preschool to primary school. It's between 3 and 11 years old on average in Poland. So first we define the problem, then we research it, and then we want to find through advocacy people who are like-minded. So we could build with them partnerships, because, you know, one is awareness of a problem, and the second thing is to do something with it. So we'll move to cooperation, and we'll expand our network, which is already quite big. And with that network, we we are proud that we have quite a few successful campaigns already being implemented in the last 10 years. And what I would like to focus on regarding the interventions we design is this, for example, which is Move for Fun. Move for Fun was introduced in hard times, post-pandemic primary schools, when the war just had started. We have visited more than 100 classes, and we saw how many refugee kids are coming in and how hard it is to schools and teachers to cope with it. Also, I mean, hard for kids itself as well. And what we discovered at that time is that, you know, simple solutions sometimes work best, because we saw that those kids, Ukrainian and Polish kids, they both, those both groups, they want to move, they need to move, and they want to play, and they want to have fun. So if we are able to give them fun, even and to let them forget about the wars and these anxieties that are over there, it's much easier for them to open up to others and to get adapted into our society. This project was very successful, and as you can see by faces of those kids, they were laughing a lot, and that was our aim. How we define sport here? It's not sport in athletic sense of kind of definition. We define sport as physical activity in general. Everything which is not about sitting is good already. Then I will show you this because it's very interesting intervention. We started in 2021. So before the problem we are discussing right now, and it was quite successful because for the first time we moved we introduced to classes in primary schools an innovation based on videos which are educational, and they let kids move, and that looked like
Numer
this.
32. Dzisiejszy dzień owocuje bardzo wieloma atrakcjami właśnie sportowymi, ruchowymi, które przeprowadzamy w czasie zajęć lekcyjnych. Dzieci są tym zachwycone. Nauka poprzez sport, poprzez ruch, poprzez wizualizację ćwiczeń, o których mówimy, jest bardzo atrakcyjną dla nich formą.
It's enough to give a big picture. So as you can see, the teacher has a ready tool to introduce more physical activity into daily routines. So if there are Ukrainian kids in this group, they move together with Polish ones, and what we discovered, and which common knowledge says as well, we discovered that sport is a universal language we all speak, and we don't need to learn. So when kids move together and have fun, they exchange smiles, then they are more likely to make friends afterwards, and so on and so forth. So this thing really works. That was successful intervention in 2021. The next,
Numer 32.
sorry, I didn't mean that. The following year, we moved a little one step further. We designed the same kind of videos, but this time we have focused on integration of Ukrainian Polish kids. So were four movies, 4 short videos that helped Polish kids to understand Ukrainian kids, and Ukrainian kids to understand Polish kids in terms of culture, cultural symbols, language, so on and so forth. But for sure, number one objective it was to make them move, to let them move, and number two objective was to make it fun for them to move. The third objective, which is educational objective, was in the background. That one was very successful. We doubled participation comparing to previous year. We had more than 1,000 participating schools from Poland, and roughly a quarter of 1,000 of Ukrainian schools that took active part in this intervention. What we learned by this is that we can quite effectively fulfill and meet needs of kids in a school setting, as well as teachers and school itself, because we can integrate education, entertainment, and movement into one thing. And that's how we came up with Croquet and Llama Academy, which is quite successful right now and widely used in Poland. And it's also used by Polish teachers to integrate Ukrainian kids. And why it's so successful here is the reason is that we are introducing curriculum subjects. So you can, as a teacher of Polish or just a class teacher, run the spelling test in a fun way. So that kids are moving, and you see, oh, this kid here has problem with this spelling. This kid here has problem with this spelling. So they perform the exercises, and they don't know that teacher is observing who's doing how well with what when it comes to spelling. And now I move to the specific intervention that we plan to launch this year on September, and we'll build the adventure. So we'll create another set of videos. This time it will be in systemic way for the schools that will participate and will want to take part in our adventure. Will create not only the videos, but also the scripts that will allow teachers to run some active play and games besides working with a screen. And then we'll help teachers to work through movement and through those games with kids to help them to more effectively integrate within the class, because we are focusing on the class, as I told you. How it would look like, we'll provide each month one set of materials. One set of materials will consist of one warm-up video. I'll show you what it is just in 1 second. One episode video, which is story-based video. One activity card, which is a game, activity game for a class. And the script, which is designed for a teacher. Where are we? Moreover, for those schools who will be in lucky 20 schools who will participate in this adventure, will produce some printouts and other materials supporting learning and supporting engagement of the kids. What is the warm-up video? Warm-up video is a very successful framework in which we're asking kids what they prefer. So in the class, it's played a movie. I'll show you like this. They ask what you prefer, running or dancing. You have time to make up your mind. And then you perform the exercise which corresponds with your choice. What's good about it and innovative about it? Kids are informing themselves, about their choices, about their preferences, and they exchange information that way. So we'll ask you prefer to have a dog or a cat, or so on and so forth. So these are like different questions, different exercises. We treat that as a warm-up video, and this is a part of one set of materials. Why a warm-up video? As you can see, because values and beliefs, same shared values and beliefs, make people easier to communicate and to integrate. In the episode video, we are focusing on a story, and kids will turn into a group of private investigators, and guided by our investigator Meryl. They'll just...
Mogliśmy tutaj odrobinę posprzątać, Watsonie. I ten kurz. Ojej! Aj, karamba! Co tu się nawyrabiało? Trzeba będzie to później powycierać. No ale teraz mamy minutkę do szkolenia.
O ile bardziej wolę uczyć niż chodzić w teren. Wiesz, Watsonie? Tam. Zmienna pogoda, deszcz.
Okay, so I showed you just a piece, a sample. It's not ready and it's not finished. A sample of a story, which is to get kids engaged. What we'll do with kids in this 10 episodes throughout 10 months when they will be like following this adventure. What they will be taken in different places in Poland and Ukraine, and they will learn about those locations in this framework, as you saw already over here, which means that they will learn about Warsaw, Kiev, Wrocław, so on and so forth, in a fun way, and they will, of course, perform exercises because every now and then they are asked to do this in order to complete that or the other thing. What will go with a set of materials, as I told you, activity cards in which we focus on whole class games, which correspond with a storytelling from the episode. So if episode is about Warsaw, in active card we'll have a game about Warsaw and about say some important spots in Warsaw which are fun to know or worth to know. How it helps of integration, physical activity, which is when it's fun, it helps integrating, and when it's built around social skills, it's even more integrating. The scripts are designed to help teachers to carry out the games, to modify them, to reach the goal, because the teacher is the main person from whose performance our success depends in terms of how effective this integration would be in a class setting. Yeah, so I see that I'm a bit out of time, but it's already done. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Yeah, do we have any questions to Piotr? We will go straight into the breakout room, so you have a chance to ask it in Polish as well. But if someone would have any questions, I will give you around 30 seconds to type in the chat or raise your hand. Doesn't seem to be the case right now, but if any questions come to you, you can still send it our way. And now I will quickly share one more screen with you, which is, I hope you can see my screen, which is about mentioning the fact that ISCA as an international organization is also organizing the big congress for youth, sport, education, healthy lifestyle sector, and the integration of Ukrainian refugees to sport will be one of the main topics of the program this year. So you can also see the main information on the slide and the website where you can find more information about the event. So you're more than welcome to follow that communication about the event in Madrid in Spain in November as well. So that was a short overview, and now we will move on towards the breakout rooms where we have around 25 minutes. So Piotr and Brit will be the hosts there together with other partners, and this will give you a chance to share a little bit more about what you have been doing, what are the challenges, and ask more detailed questions from them as well. So I will open the breakout rooms now, and you are free to choose the breakout room either in Polish with Piotr or English internationally with Brit. So I wish for all of you happy discussions, and then we will meet back here in the main room in 25 minutes. So I hope you can start choosing already.